everyone, and welcome back to the Barrie Ball Hockey Club, home of the 2016 BallHockey.com World Outdoor Ball Hockey Championships presented by Bauer. I'm Jim Lowe, my broadcast colleague is Mike Poirier, and we are about to get underway with our main event, the Men's A Division Finals, as the defending champion Toronto Leafs are about to take on the scrappy underdogs, the Niagara War Pigs. Mike, we have got a great game in store, don't we?
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a pretty exciting game between these two squads. The Toronto Leafs, as you mentioned off the top, trying to make some history, defending champions. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this match will line up, as we've got teams ranked 2 and 3 in the world, the War Pigs being the team ranked 3rd overall. So for a final, it can't really get much better than this matchup between the Leafs and the War Pigs here today.
Yeah, the Leafs looking for history here. They have won this tournament 5 times in the 20-year history. That's a record that is currently matched by the St. Catharines Wizards. However, winning tonight, they would become a 6-time World Championship team. Set the record, they would also become only the 2nd team to do the three-peat, back-to-back-to-back championships.
So a lot on the line here as the teams getting ready to get this game underway as the goaltenders are getting into position. This should be a good matchup as looking at some of the talent on both of these teams. Off the air, you were mentioning Christopher Morrison, one of the top players for the Leafs, someone to watch for this in this game.
Yeah, but he's had a quiet tournament. This is a stacked roster, so well, the Sultan of the Orange Ball is certainly a guy who's scored a lot of goals in this tournament over the years. I'm not sure that he's dressing right now. Perhaps nursing a bit of an injury, but I can see him manning the door there for the Leafs. So we may not see him, but man, you're in for a treat because we have many of the best players in the world.
Right now, the teams lining up, getting acquainted there at the center court. As this game should be an exciting one. Crowd leaning up against the boards here with anticipation. Should be quite the matchup as these two teams are well acquainted.
The War Pigs actually had to advance through a shootout in the semifinals against their arch rivals, the Niagara Rebels. War Pigs have never won a Men's A championship, but they did win 2 B championships in 2009 and 2010, have moved up to A Division, and now they're looking for the big prize.
And right now it's the captain of the War Pigs getting things started, getting it in the corner. That's Capaldi trying to put it down low, carrying it. We're getting some great speed to get this one underway. And falling in front there for the War Pigs was number 98, as he was trying to get the screen in front. Niagara right now, great momentum early on as the Leafs just trying to get in the way of that ball. It's down low, working behind their own net is Niagara, as the defender trying to see what's going on there. On the forecheck is Sean Hannon, number 68, as the ball gets down to the Leafs blue line, and that shot just going wide. So some tense moments here early on to start this first period.
Another little bit of history could be made today. Paolo Duarte and Tony Montero from the Leafs are actually looking to win their 6th World Championship. No individual players ever won more than 5, so that would be a really neat bit of history for those two men.
Yeah, lots of accomplishment just between those two players. Great experience. And right now, turning that around is Azevedo, the tall defender for the Leafs, carrying it forward, trying to get in the attacking zone. Great work here. He puts it behind the War Pigs net into the near side. The Leafs getting some decent pressure on now, but the loose puck turned over. The War Pigs coming the other way. Couldn't hold on to that too long. Was for Mika, as the Niagara team doing some line changes here after getting that ball down low. Leafs taking their time, bringing it up as both teams wanting to make some changes. Right now with it is Duarte, putting it back to the far side for Azevedo, and there's a turnover. Great work there by the War Pigs, number 17, and that's Danny. As Azevedo, he's been out there for quite a while, as he's chasing the ball early on in this one. War Pigs putting it down low in the corner. There's some stick grabbing, and I think we're gonna get our first penalty of the game.
It's been an interesting tournament for the Leafs. They started off slow. They actually lost to the unrated Barrie Hitmen. Seemed to be on the ropes. They had to win a critical game this morning to advance to the playoff round. They did so. wound up facing that same Hitmen team in the semifinals, went down early in the game, came back to win, and earned the chance to defend their world championship.
And right now, it's the the War Pigs that are going to be put short-handed, as in the penalty box is Matt Martello. And right now, the Leafs getting a good advantage as we still have 7.5 minutes remaining in the first period. Still no score, as the Leafs putting it down low in the corner. Some good pressure there as they're putting it down behind the net. That was Mallet, and he turns over that ball, and Niagara sending it down. So the War Pigs right now, they're short-handed, but doing a decent job on this penalty kill.
Yeah, they're a very athletic team. They're a little younger team than the Leafs. You're going to see them hustling on every single play.
And Azevedo getting the puck on net, that rebound right away picked up by the War Pigs, and they'll send it down the rink. And the goaltender there for the Leafs will hold on to that one, as this power play, they've had some momentum in the offensive zone, but they're not really getting too many shots off. As you mentioned, this athletic War Pigs team doing a good job of blocking those lanes.
Yeah, and we're not going to see a lot of scoring in this game. Every person on both benches is a quality player on both ends of the floor. It's not going to be fire wagon hockey. These teams know how to play the game right.
And Brando carrying it up. He'll just shoot that down the length of the court. And his teammate unable to corral that ball. So the War Pigs once again able to clear as it comes back to the center line. Trying to get it from the point. There's a quick shot stopped by the goaltender. Nice save there. And the War Pigs will take it the other way. Here's Tardif. Tardif, he puts that wide. And the rebound comes back to the blue line. Picking it up short-handed is the War Pigs. And that just goes over the net. Great opportunity there, as that was Nielsen with that shot. So the Leafs have to regroup here. Running out of time on this man advantage. See what they can do. Still no score. War Pigs doing a great job on this penalty kill. The Leafs putting it to the near side, and that makes contact with the crowd, so we'll get a whistle. But this War Pigs team getting a good opportunity there, shorthanded.
Yeah, excellent opportunity. For those of you who are just tuning in, just a quick explanation about the offensive zone. Teams gain the offensive zone here by going across the blue line. However, the offensive zone immediately expands to the red line at that point. So it adds a bit more dynamic play, and here we go.
And the Leafs have possession of it. At the point is number 60, and that's Brando. And he'll try and put it down low, as we've just got under 6 minutes left to go here in the first period. The Leafs moving it around. Brando with the one-timer. That's just wide of the net in front, and it was bouncing around. Unable to get a stick on that was Porter. So it comes to the near side. There's a slap shot. That goes wide. Finally getting some good pressure on this power play, but now the even strength situation, as the Leafs late in that power play finally getting a chance, but the goaltender able to step up his game. Leafs getting it into the neutral zone, moving it forward, as that's Sean Hannon dumping it in. His teammate going around into the corner. Some good defensive work down low by Boys, and the puck comes to the point. The Leafs trying to regroup, but the War Pigs doing a good job defensively, and they'll make a quick defensive change. Toronto putting it up the boards. They're wanting an offside call, but none coming. But that opportunity short-lived, and Niagara will come the other way. War Pigs on the far wing. That's Boys. Boys turning it around, putting it down low. That loose ball is picked up by the Leafs instead, and going after it there is Ferrero. And Ferrero will put it on the near side, and it's collected by number 96, Bevilacqua. Puck bouncing in front, and the War Pigs will get to that first, as the Leafs trying to just put it in front of the net, but not able to jump on those situations. That ball rolling in front. Good work there by the War Pigs, number 14, as Niagara quickly just changing things in both directions.
Really exciting end-to-end action. I'm surprised you're not out of breath after that exchange.
Well, coming into this game, we were expecting this to be very high tense, and we're seeing that early on in this one. Toronto getting that one great opportunity. The ball was bouncing in the crease. I'm not sure how exactly Toronto missed out on that opportunity.
No, but there's we're going to have a quick look at the replay, but it comes down to exhaustion. This is the 6th game of the weekend for both teams. You're starting to feel those bumps and bruises, and you just that was a beautiful toe save.
And it almost looked like he overcommitted on that play too. So great recovery by the War Pigs goaltender. That's Bram Leggett. So being tested early on in this one is we just have 4:01 remaining in the first period. Still no score between these two teams battling in the final. Puck bouncing down low in the corner. War Pigs trying to keep the Leafs to the outside. Some great defensive play that we have seen in this game so far. Ball comes to the point. Leaf player trying to get that towards the net as that was deflected by the defense. Here comes the War Pigs the other way. Bit of a trip. The ref deciding not to call that one, so the Leafs carrying it forward, putting it to the near side. Some great ball movement as Duarte has it. He'll put it in front. Nice pass and a great save again by Leggett as he has been tested late in this period, and he's standing tall for this Niagara team.
Yeah, Leggett has been fantastic, and you're going to need that. There are so many offensive weapons on this Toronto team that if your goalie can't respond with the best, they're going to put 3 or 4 behind you, and then they're just going to sit on the play. It's what they did a year ago when they defended their championship. They got up to a lead and just hung on, smothered the play.
And that face-off won by the Leafs. They'll just put it down low as a bouncing puck. Leggett got a piece of that one. Comes to the near side, and Niagara will send that the length of the rink. No icing as that hit a Toronto player. So Toronto forced to regroup in their own zone as Conti putting it forward. He'll find Tremblay. Tremblay on the wing. He'll hold up, still with it, trying to carry it in front. Nice little move there, nearly lost it as the Leafs putting it around the perimeter. Comes back to the point. That almost cleared the zone, and here comes Niagara the other way. Good hustle there by the Niagara player Formica as the puck bouncing, and Toronto will pick it up, trying to clear it. Great work there again, as that was Nagy putting it down low. Niagara with some pressure now. That shot blocked in front by the Toronto defender, and the Leafs will take it the other way. Here comes Toronto, as carrying that ball forward was Porter, but he had a tough time trying to get around the defense. The Leafs putting it in front. Porter had a piece of that one, but just put that wide. Great work there. Now we got a collision in the neutral zone as this is getting pretty heated right now. That was Maneuver Hamandi that was tripped up there. He lost his hat in the play.
Yeah, Hamandi's got to watch his temper, though, because that was a really late retaliation, and that could have come back to haunt him.
And already Niagara, they've had a penalty kill already. You don't want to keep giving Toronto opportunities as we're still scoreless. It's early in this hockey game as Toronto will just dump it in the final 2 minutes of the first period. Ball comes back to the point as they battle along the near boards. The War Pigs coming the other way. That's stopped by the goaltender. He'll just put it into the corner. The War Pigs holding on to it. Hamandi to the far wing, and that shot just goes wide. Hamandi on the near side loses it. Toronto will take it the other way. Going down into the corner for the Leafs is Malay. Malay in a bit of a battle, but Niagara able to clear it as the Toronto team will make some changes. Both teams making some late substitutions as we're entering the final minute of the first period. Glad you can join us for this one. There's a turnover, and that shot blocked by the defenseman. There's a great block there by Rorison. As Toronto still with the possession of the ball. Ball comes to the near side. It's bouncing. Took a swing at it, but he missed. After it is Marshall Boyes. Boyes putting his man into the corner as he's trying to put on that late pressure. In the dying moments of this first period, Toronto maybe get one more opportunity, putting it on the near side. After it there is Guastini. Guastini leaving it behind, trying to cycle the ball. Guastini gets the ball back, but that bounces off his blade. And Niagara will recover and try and get it down, and no icing there. As this should just about do it, as Azevedo will collect the ball, putting it down the length of the rink. 10 seconds, we'll see him get another shot. Nice blocker save there by Leggett. Rolls into the corner. War Pigs moving it around their own net. Maybe time for one more shot. Azevedo putting on the pressure, and that'll do it as we're still scoreless after the first period. And coming into this game, you said it's going to be a very close affair, and both teams looking not too bad after that opening frame.
Absolutely. I thought the War Pigs came out flying, had a really strong first couple of minutes, but then when they weren't able to get quality scoring chances, they seemed to drop back a bit. Maple Leafs took control. They've started to dominate the ball possession, and we've seen the Warriors start to look a little nervous a couple plays. A dangerous retaliation, but also a giveaway that nearly cost them with about 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, it was a very close game there. As we'll see, there was also this collision here at center. Kind of surprised we didn't see the retaliatory penalty here, as you'll see the trip and then the attempted slash. But when you've got this, what's on the line, you've got history here with the Toronto team, you're going to have some emotion there on both sides.
So we have veteran officials on the floor. They're not going to make calls unless they absolutely have to, even though there was clearly an attempt at retaliation. Didn't really get much of them. I think he got more stick than ankle, so refs are going to let it go. Probably going to mention something to him on the next draw to ease it back a bit. But if you're on the Warriors bench, though, you don't want to see your teammates even taking the chance of doing that, because you can't afford to go down against this Leafs team.
And they've already given Toronto one power play opportunity. They were doing great in the first half of that man advantage, as Niagara really keeping them to the perimeter, not giving them too many scoring opportunities. But then when Leggett was called upon late in that power play with that toe save, he was looking right on top of his game.
Well, I think Leggett's been the most valuable player of the game so far. That toe save was obviously the biggest one, but he had 3 or 4 other really key saves. And more than anything, he's not rattled by the dominant world champions. He's cool as a cucumber against a team that's got 5 big trophies here and have won the last 2 years. So Leggett definitely the difference maker so far.
And the second period now underway as the War Pigs having it in their feet. That was the defenseman, Rorison, trying to move it up. Some good work. Battle along the blue line, trying to move it forward with his hands, and they will call that as he was reaching down for that ball. You can't do that. I know you're getting in a desperation mode, trying to keep the ball moving forward, but he got called on that play.
Yeah, the War Pigs just have to relax a bit. Just take it easy, realize there's lots of time, and it's a 0-0 game. They're playing like they're down by a goal.
And right now the ball bouncing deep into the War Pigs' end. And early on in this hockey game, we saw Niagara putting on a lot of pressure, but Toronto starting to pick things up a bit with some momentum late in that first period. So we'll see what that will translate into as Niagara has the ball down in their own zone. War Pigs starting to get physical. We're seeing some pushing along the boards. Here comes Niagara down the wing, in front, shoots, blocked by the defenseman, and they score! The captain of the War Pigs puts it home. That's Jay Capaldi. And Capaldi giving Niagara that lead, that big momentum shift, as we saw the rough stuff along the boards down in the Niagara zone, and then the War Pigs carrying it down court.
Yeah, and it came down to that hustle. That was the hustle we saw at the start of the first period. Look at this drive to the net. Boom. Clark struggles to make the first save, and it's a pretty easy rebound for the captain to put in, but that was all about that hustle coming down the floor.
Oh, that was some great work there, as Capaldi not giving up on that ball, as Toronto now facing some pressure, as it's 1-0, as we haven't even played 2 minutes into the second period. Toronto taking it back into their own zone, as they'll take their time trying to set up the right play, as the pressure is on, as the Leafs, that's Malay, will move it up. Here comes Toronto, 2-on-1 situation, and he fans on the shot. Toronto with another shot, but Leggett, a big save there.
Oh, J.C. Gill is going to be seeing that in his sleep tonight. That was a prime opportunity.
Well, you don't see 2-on-1 situations often, especially between teams like this. And the War Pigs just moving it up. They want to get the pressure back in the Toronto zone, and we're going to get an offside call against the War Pigs. Wow, the great 2-on-1 opportunity for Toronto, and just not able to capitalize on that situation.
It's pretty rare. I mean, the Leafs are one of the best ball handling teams in the world. You don't see a lot of mishandled balls like that, but J.C. Gill just couldn't get his handle on it, and that chance was taken away.
And Niagara winning that face-off cleanly. War Pigs just moving it to the far side, as the defenseman will carry it forward. Ball's on the far side. The defenseman still trying to carry it forward. Some good handling here. Putting in the slot. One-timer scores! And it's now 2-0 for Niagara. Manuvar Hamdani scoring that one, and it's now 2-0 Niagara.
Hamdani with a rocket from upper slot. Wow, Dave Clark did not have any chance on that one.
And we'll see in the replay as Niagara, after giving up that 2-on-1 situation, they were able to regroup, and it was all in the defensive work as they were able to move it to the point. And then Hamdani with a great one-timer, putting it top shelf behind the Leaf goaltender.
Niagara Warpigs up 2-0 on the defending champion Toronto Leafs in the Men's A World Outdoor Ball Hockey Championships.
And that was Martello putting it to the far wing as Niagara wanting to keep the momentum on their side. The goal scorer for Niagara, Hamdani, circling. He's going towards the net. He's looking for a second of the game. Bouncing ball as the Warpigs put on some great pressure now as they have Toronto on their heels. Azevedo carrying it forward for the Leafs. Azevedo moving it into the center area. That shot stopped by Leggett. Great goaltending again as the Warpigs holding on to that 2-goal lead. Here come Niagara on the wing. Putting it in front. Ball just going wide. Danny circling, shoots. That goes just wide. Clark trying to get a toe on that one. He's got some traffic in front as that's Martello trying to create a bit of a screen. And Denny back to the point. There's a dump in. After it is Martello bouncing puck. That just goes wide as Clark down on his knee had given up the whole top shelf to work with for the Warpigs, but they just weren't able to capitalize. The Leafs trying to move it up. The ball's at the blue line. Niagara capitalizing on the line change. Taking their time a bit. That ball put on net, deflected wide. As it's been all Niagara here midway through the second period. 2-0 for the Warpigs. Niagara trying to put it in front, and Toronto has seen enough of that. They'll send that the length of the court, trying to beat the icing, but wasn't able to get there in time. And now we'll take a look at the earlier goal here by Hamdani.
You know, Clark maybe cheated up a little too soon, but man, that was just a beauty of a shot.
Well, the Warpigs, great work on their defense, and we pointed that out in the first period when they were on that penalty kill, doing a great job keeping Toronto to the point, and now we're seeing them doing the great cycle at the point here, creating that last goal.
Yeah, the Warriors are completely outplaying the Leafs, which is something you don't see. I've watched both these teams compete at a lot of world championships, and it's rare to see the Leafs on their heels like this.
And the Leafs, once again, sending that down the length of the court as the Warpigs just in total domination right now, uncharacteristic of the Toronto team. As Niagara, they'll dump that in. Warpigs making a quick line change. Toronto will try and put on some pressure, trying to get on the board, as the Warpigs defense continuing to do a great job really limiting Toronto's opportunities of carrying that puck in front of the net. Bouncing ball, Warpigs will collect it, trying to move it forward. Niagara, you can just see how they're playing with such confidence right now, as they have a nice 2-goal lead, and that one just rolls to the goaltender, and he'll hold on for the faceoff.
And we do want to apologize to our viewers at home for a bit of the noise right now. We've got the Women's World Champions are celebrating their big victory from earlier today. So they're drinking out of the World Championship Cup and enjoying themselves. So that's why things are getting a bit loud with their celebration. And trust me, anyone who watched that game knows it was a well-earned celebration.
Yeah, and that was just a 1-0 final. It was a great competition between those two teams. And right now we're 5 minutes left to go in the second period. 2-0 Niagara. Ball's on the near side. Warpigs gets the point. Here's a quick shot, and it bounces. I'm not sure how many players that hit, but it's a good goal. And it's now 3-0 for Niagara. Great shot from the point, as again, the defense steps up for the Warpigs.
And look at the difference in the faces of these players. So we've got Warpigs are laughing, fist bumping, big smiles. The Leafs look kind of dejected, and I believe they've taken a timeout to try to regroup here.
And that was Michael Nielsen who scored that goal. And right now, Toronto they've been on their heels this entire second period. And not sure what's going on with Toronto. Maybe Niagara has gotten into their heads a bit there. Leggett has been fantastic in net so far, and the defense of Niagara just doing a great job slowing things down and clogging up the middle.
Well, I mean, Leggett was fantastic in the first period, but he hasn't really been tested this period.
No, and it's been a remarkable turn of events as Toronto had that power play in the first period. They put on some great shots there, which resulted in the big toe save from Leggett. And I don't know, maybe that was the turning point of this game.
Yeah, I certainly would not count the Leafs out. 5-time world champions 2 years ago. They actually went to triple overtime to win the 2014 World Championship. They had to come from behind in that game. You can't count a team with all these great players out when there's still a good 15 minutes left to play.
So it should be a good game as right now both sides getting out onto the court. We'll see what Toronto can do here. See if that timeout can shake things up a bit for this Leafs team. Toronto winning that face-off, and they'll dump it in. Just deflect it into the corner. And we're going to get a whistle after the clearing attempt. Looked like it hit the official and then a player on the bench, so we'll get another face-off. But this Toronto team, you mentioned it, they have a lot of experience on this team, and this is where that experience is going to have to come and play.
Yeah, and I think the key thing, you take that timeout, and I think it was a smart timeout. Gather yourself together, figure out what's working, what isn't, and number one, you got to just slow this Warriors team down.
And right now, Niagara, they'll just dump that in as Toronto regrouping in their own zone, trying to get something to work. Here they come again on the wing. Slap shot. Leggett gets a piece of that. Rebound is collected by the Warpigs, and they'll come the other way. It's Tardif on the wing, trying to drop it back. Getting some support. Tardif regrouping, putting it in the corner now, bouncing. That was a between-the-legs shot attempt, and he bumped into the goaltender. Now we're getting a little pushing and shoving. I think the goaltender there, Clark, getting a little frustrated for Toronto.
Yeah, that was his defenseman put the Warpigs player into Dave, and I certainly understand his frustration there. But look, that's all his own player that created that mess. So he's got to get focused. He's let in 2 goals, which weren't the best. One he had no chance on. Just focus on stopping the ball. Let his players look after the other guys.
And that was Capaldi, the captain of the Warpigs, who is right in front of the net, trying that between-the-legs trick shot. But goaltender getting the upper hand in that one. As we're going to get another whistle, bouncing puck in front of the Toronto bench. So the game is slowing down a little bit. 4:06 left to go in the second period. When you slow down the play, this might be an advantage for Toronto.
You would think that, but look at what's happened. The Leafs are only getting 4 or 5 seconds of possession in the offensive zone before the ball's out. The Warpigs getting 15, 20, 30 seconds before a whistle. And you're not going to get anything together with 5 seconds of offensive possession at a time.
And right now, Azevedo knocking that down with his glove, and we're going to get another face-off as Azevedo, he doesn't take much time off the field. He has been out there quite a bit for Toronto, and you can just tell on the look of his face, he wants to get things turned around quick, and I think if things are going to change, it might be the tall defenseman there, Azevedo. And speaking of Azevedo, he picks up the ball in his own court. He's facing a lot of pressure, trying to do everything himself right now. Now he'll put it to an open wing. The Leafs trying to get it into the Niagara zone. Pressure down low, going after it for the Leafs, and then coming back is Niagara. That shot just over the net. Puck down in the corner. Campbell after it, putting it in front.
Solid save by Clark there.
Clark stepping up as the Leafs picking up the rebound. Toronto just trying to get something going. As we'll get another whistle. The Niagara player there, not sure why we were getting a call. That's Dalwai. As he's having a conversation with the official, not agreeing with that call.
Really important save for Dave Clark there. He's been struggling a bit this period. That was a broken play. Possession came off to his right, and he had to scramble, came up with a huge glove save, and that'll help his confidence a lot for the rest of this game.
So we'll see what Toronto can do. They're trying to get it deep in the zone as we have a bit of a battle into the far corner. The Leafs going after it, trying to carry it out in front. A couple whacks at it there. Leggett just not budging as he was just covering the down low section. And now the Warpigs coming the other way. It's a one-on-one situation, but
blew a tire.
Yeah, losing his footing there was Hamdani. As Hamdani already has one goal to his credit this evening. As the Warpigs, quick shot, that goes well over the fence out behind the goaltender Clark. As the Niagara Warpigs again trying to work the defense into the play.
Leafs there had their best pressure of the period, but again, that was, 10 seconds in the zone before that ball was out. And the Warriors, if they can continue to clear it out time after time after time, the Leafs aren't going to have a chance to get back on the board.
And they've been trying to do carry the ball in, and there's another shot from the defense of Niagara, and Clark getting a piece of that. As we're going to get a whistle. They're going to call this offside potentially. And they'll bring the face-off all the way back into the Niagara zone. So Toronto getting a bit of a break here. So we'll see what they can do to try and capitalize on this situation.
Yeah, deliberate offside will bring you all the way back. So clearly the officials felt that the Warpigs player had intent.
And scrambled draw. Toronto coming away with it as that was Aqua winning that face-off. Toronto trying to keep it down low. But they're being kept to the perimeter once again. Some rough play along the far boards, doing some pushing and shoving as that's Jeff Capaldi pushing his man into the boards. Leafs trying to get something going, cross speed, and another great chance for Toronto, but bouncing ball and they couldn't capitalize, trying the crossover pass again. That doesn't work. Niagara from their own blue line trying to move it forward. Toronto starting to step up their game a bit. Here come the Leafs on the wing, shooting, stopped by Leggett. Warpigs picking up the rebound in the corner. Niagara just getting it out of the zone. I think they want to make some changes as the ball finally back deep in the Toronto zone. That's the Leafs' best opportunity of this period so far. We have 1:40 remaining in the second, still 3-0 for Niagara. Toronto has it in their own zone. That's Double Aqua. He'll dump it in. Leggett leaving it there for his defense. As Niagara coming the other way, almost an odd man rush developing. That pass missed the intended target. Ball shot just wide of the net. Down low is the captain of the Warpigs. That's Jay Capaldi. Capaldi now going out in front, trying to create a screen.
Real battle in front there.
We have seen this before as Niagara trying to move it around. Capaldi again, nice try with between the legs. Ball comes to the point, defense shot, blocked by the Leafs player. Toronto trying to send this one the other way, but great work there in the neutral zone by number 14 of the Warpigs. Bouncing puck, and Clark not wanting to take any chances as he'll hold on as we're just down to 46.8 seconds remaining here in the second period.
And this could be a changing of the guard. You have this younger Warpigs team, won a couple championships in B, never drank from the big cup, but they have the defending champs on the ropes, and we could see the beginning of a new dynasty here, Mike.
And right now, this Niagara team, defense has been a big factor for this team, and defensively in their own zone, and then the defense contributing on the offensive things as well. So Niagara getting some great work from their decor as they tried to keep it in, but Azevedo for Toronto, he'll dump it in. Azevedo wanting the ball back to point, he gets it, shoots, stopped by Leggett. There's a screen in front, bouncing ball, and Niagara will go the other way. A long pass, icing waved off, bouncing in the corner. First player after that is Ryan Nagy. Nagy tied up in the corner, trying to knock it loose. Down to 15 seconds left in the second period, and that one crosses in front. Niagara with some late pressure in the far side as Azevedo will collect it. Leafs come the other way. One more chance. Rolling ball, and now we got some pushing in front. And they put it in the net, but I think we're going to be getting a penalty. We'll have to wait and see what this is going to happen as there is some pushing and shoving in front of the Niagara net. The ball did go in, but no indication if it was a good goal.
Yeah, so Shannon got absolutely flattened. It looked like there was going to be a penalty against the War Pigs. I didn't see the War Pigs get any possession. Toronto put it in the net, but it was no goal. So we're going to look at the replay.
Yeah, you'll see the Toronto player in a battle, and yeah, he was tripped right up, and then the late shot, that ball did go in behind the goaltender, but the buzzer also went off at the same time. So unless they're saying that maybe the buzzer went off before the ball went in, but right now it remains 3-0 for Niagara as they go into the final period.
Yeah, interesting. John Rorison is stretching. I don't know if the Leafs are thinking about making a change in net. Although this isn't the best game I've ever seen Dave Clark play, they're not down because of Dave Clark. They're down because they can't get any sustained offense.
And heading to the penalty box is Michael Nielsen. So Toronto will get a power play to start off the third period, as we had some confusion there at the end of the second. So they are going to give a penalty against Niagara. So this is going to be Toronto's second man advantage of the game. And we saw in the first period, they didn't get many chances until the end of their power play when Leggett made a huge toe save, which seemed to be the difference maker and sparked the War Pigs to go and score 3 unanswered. So this could be a big moment here for Toronto, getting this power play, see if they can finally solve Leggett.
Yeah, if they can't get out of second gear on this power play, I don't think they're coming back to win this game. Even a goal isn't so critical as just have 3 or 4 shots at a time. They're one and done. Every shift, one and done. So if they can't get 3 or 4 shots here, I do not like their chances.
And also Clark remaining in the net for Toronto, so not making a goaltending change. Here comes the Leafs on the far wing, back to the point. See if they can set up here, coming to the near side now. Toronto doing some good movement. We're seeing more in the offensive zone than what we saw in the whole second period, and the goalie lost his stick, and it's a good goal. Toronto on the board. Leggett is upset, but the power play comes through for Toronto.
Yeah, Leggett had his stick knocked away from him. I don't blame him for being upset, but the referee had full view the whole time, ruled it was not a deliberate interference, and the goal counts.
And you'll see some great movement from Toronto, and during the back and forth situation, you had the collision between Leggett and the Leaf player. And just looking at that, it looks like the Leaf player, Sean Hannon, scored that one to make it 3-1.
Yeah, Sean was the player that was in the crease on that goal that did not count at the end of the second, so he's feeling pretty good about that right now.
So Toronto getting a big goal. We'll see if that will create some momentum as the War Pigs putting that right on goal. Clark with the save. Rebound comes all the way to the neutral zone. Toronto not able to capitalize as the War Pigs regain possession, trying to move it up. It gets to the neutral zone. Hamdani after it, going around the Toronto net. On the backhand pass, finds his teammate, shoots. Nice save there by Clark. The rebound collected by the War Pigs, but they couldn't get another shot off, so here comes Toronto the other way. The Leafs putting it across. Azevedo, it's a bouncing ball. He couldn't contain it. Collision there at center. Here comes Hamdani. Hamdani trying to move that one around the Leaf defender. Into the corner are the War Pigs, as Niagara trying to regain that 3-goal lead. Ball on the near side. Toronto taking it up court. Nice speed. Putting it on the far wing. Leafs near. Shoot! One-timer. What a great defensive effort. And here come the War Pigs the other way. And Denny trying to corral that one, but bounced off his foot. And the ball bounces back into center. Some great end-to-end action here in the third period. Niagara still holding on to that 3-1 lead. It was 3-0 to start this period. Toronto with possession on the near side, taking some time. Bit of a slash, but that shot just going wide. War Pigs clearing the zone. Icing is waved off. So Toronto will try and regroup once again. Dan Conti putting it to the near side. He'll find his teammate there, Paulo Duarte.
Paulo Duarte, a 5-time world champion, one of only 6 men to hold that honor.
And right now, they're going to need his experience to try and even the score as the Leafs carry it in. Duarte putting it in front, but now we're going to get a high sticking call against the War Pigs.
Yeah, and that's Barrie's Kyle Ozienko, who's playing for this War Pigs team, and that's a fellow who should know better. He is one of the most talented players in Barrie, and he's not going to be pleased with himself. But just a reaction. Ball's there, and your gut tells you to play it, no matter how many years you've been in this game.
And he showed some great hand-eye coordination on that play, just a little too high with the stick. So Toronto going right back on the power play. They're 1 for 2 on the man advantage so far this evening. And their one goal coming here in the third period, and it was a power play marker. So we'll see if Toronto can claw their way back into this game. Ball's at the point. The Leafs carrying it as it goes towards the net. Bouncing puck. That just goes wide. Hannon collecting it behind the War Pigs net. Out to the point. See if Toronto can get another shot off. Some great traffic in front. Hannon make that Azevedo. Azevedo trying to get it in front. Leafs back to the point. Some great possession time right now for Toronto. 7 minutes remaining in the third period. 3-1 Niagara. This is the men's final between Niagara and Toronto. Bit of a hook, and now we're going to get a penalty against the Leafs. It's going to be the first Toronto penalty. Here comes Niagara the other way. Great hustle there by the War Pigs. Ball going into the corner. Going after it is James Downs, but the Leafs going to be getting a hooking penalty, so we're going to get some 4-on-4 hockey.
Be interesting to see how this changes the pace. Leafs by far have played their best 3 minutes of the game here. Completely sustained pressure, like a totally different team, but now going 4-on-4 against this faster, perhaps stronger War Pigs team, we could see the game shift back.
Is heading to the penalty box for Toronto. That's Matt Tremblay.
Tremblay is one of the best players in this game. You don't want to see him in the box because he's one of those guys Leafs are counting on to put the ball in the back of the net.
And this face-off, it'll come to the left of the Leafs netminder, Clark. So we'll see what Niagara can do here, getting the face-off deep in the offensive zone. We have 6:35 left to go in the third period. Niagara holding on to a 3-1 lead. As trying to figure out with the line change, who's going to be out on the court. Getting some last-minute instructions from the officials, and should be able to get this game to resume momentarily. Here we go, face-off, push forward by Toronto. Some great momentum, lots of room out there on the court right now. Here come the War Pigs. That shot just wide of the net. Collecting it there for the Leafs is the defenseman, number 7, trying to move it up. Azevedo. He's been a familiar player out on the court for the Leafs. As the War Pigs intercepting that pass. Thought we'd get some more room to work with, but it seems like the players are bunched up a little bit more. Toronto really not letting Niagara move as freely as we saw earlier in this game. The Leafs, Azevedo taking it around his own net through the neutral zone. That ball goes on net and goes into the corner. Another shot, blocker saved by Leggett, bouncing into the near side now. Niagara collecting that ball. They'll just send that the length of the court. Icing is waved off as the Toronto team is now shorthanded. The Niagara Warhogs on their first power play of the hockey game. That shot deflected wide. See what Niagara can do here.
I think the key thing is patience. You're up by 2 goals. There's no need to get desperate. Leafs certainly looking better than they did, but just go to your set plays, control the ball.
And the War Pigs with possession of it. That pass intercepted, but keeping that in for Niagara was the defenseman. As the War Pigs, they've been great with the possession in this game with defense, and we're seeing it right now. There's another shot. I think that might have hit the crossbar. Great opportunity for Niagara.
Yeah, Clark was screened on that and got helped out by the crossbar.
And Clark tested there once again, holding on. But this War Pigs team, great possession, keeping it around the perimeter and then getting those shots with the traffic in front. So Toronto right now put back on their heels once again in this one.
Yeah, and the traffic in front has been key. Clark was screened on that. He's been bumped 3 or 4 times this game, had to defend himself, and it's all because of the hard work of the Warpigs.
And the Warpigs getting a quick shot off that face-off. Here comes Niagara again, shoots, bouncing ball, and rebound nearly collected by Solga. Here comes Toronto the other way, short-handed, or make that back to even strength as the player that took that hooking penalty earlier for Toronto is now out of the box. So.
Yeah, he came out of the box. His teammate didn't realize he was joining into the rush. They would have had a 2-on-1, but it was the safe, conservative play to keep possession when you think you're down a man.
And we're getting late now in this third period, so chances for Toronto to get back into this game are becoming more slim, but we'll see what they can do. Even strength earlier in this period, they were the better team. As the Warpigs win that faceoff, and right away, Hamdani chasing after it. Here's an odd man situation off the post. Another great chance. Strikes iron. Another great save by Clark. Bouncing ball as Hamdani putting it back to the point. Niagara just wanting to put this one away as they have now struck iron twice in this period.
What a finish we're in for here. This is the 20th annual BallHockey.com World Outdoor Ball Hockey Championships Men's A Division. This is the big prize. You have the 2-time defending champs, 5-time champions overall Leafs. Right now, backs against the wall versus the Niagara Warpigs.
And Niagara again, another shot. Clark being called upon, as that's now the 4th shot he's faced in the last 2 minutes in this third period, as Niagara just wanting to put that dagger into this game. The Leafs moving it up, going towards the net. Leggett will play it there, not giving the Leafs much of a chance in front of his own goal. Ball coming to the near side. The Warpigs player Boys having some space, putting it down low. Boys, great work there, trying the wraparound attempt. That's blocked. As the Warpigs making some changes, so Boys, he was left all alone, no options to pass to. Azevedo will just dump it in. Weird bounce off the end boards, and Leggett will jump on top of that one and get a face-off as Boys on that last situation creating some problems there for the Leafs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And right now we'll get the face-off. It's coming to the left of the Niagara net. Some great play there by the Warpigs. Just 3:20 remaining here in the third. Toronto trying to get back on the board to get within 1. They have a lot of work to do. Niagara, great defensive game, as the Warpigs not giving the Leafs much room to work with. Niagara taking it the other way, near side, but that'll be offside as the Niagara Warpigs just trying to put more momentum and more pressure in that Toronto zone.
Oh, what a game for the Warpigs. They came in going up against history. They had one of the most dominant teams in the history of this event, staring down the rink at them, and the Warpigs showed absolutely no fear, no intimidation. They have taken it to the Leafs, and as a result, they're 3 minutes away from winning their first Men's A World Championship.
And a bit of a dangerous play, passing the ball in front of their own net. That one going well over the players' bench area, so we'll get another face-off as Niagara, you know, as you mentioned, less than 3 minutes away from making history for their squad. And, you know, right now, maybe getting a little nervous out there with these dying moments.
Yeah, they're the younger team. They haven't been in this specific position, but let's not underestimate them. They've won a couple of B championships. They are the 4th-ranked team in North America. So, you know, this isn't a bunch of rookies looking for their first win. They're just looking to take the next step.
And that one sent the length of the court, so another icing call here as they'll bring the face-off back into the Niagara zone. There's Toronto trying to solve Leggett. They've only beat him once, and that was on the power play at the start of this third period. As we'll set up and get a face-off here to the right in the Niagara netminder. Face-off won by the Warpigs. Taking their time a bit here, but turning it over. Great recovery by the Warpigs, 3-on-2 developing. We'll put that on net. Clark with the blocker save, good job. Puck comes to the near side and the battle in the corner. Warpigs is trying to keep the ball down low, trying that wraparound attempt. As the ball bouncing, Leafs just trying to get it back into the Niagara zone. Here's in the slot. That shot deflected by the defense. Toronto trying once more. There's a trip, and we're going to get a penalty. So this might just about do it for the Toronto team as they're going short-handed again. And we'll see the replay here as the Leafs team doing a great job getting the ball down low, but stick getting in between the legs of the Niagara player and bringing him down. So it's going to be a power play for the Warhawks.
Yeah, a bit of an unlucky play for the Leafs there. They had possession. The ball skipped ahead of them a bit. He was still trying to maintain possession, and Formica just got in the way, happened to trip, and now we may have had a game-changing call there.
And heading to the penalty box for Toronto will be Frank Guastini. So this is going to be a long 2 minutes for this Leafs team as there's 2:02 left to go in this third period. The Niagara Warpigs, they can put this one to bed.
Warpigs, the smart use of their timeout, get themselves collected, make sure everyone's got the jitters out. You don't want to make any mistakes, get overconfident on this power play and somehow cost yourself a chance of becoming world champions.
And it's a face-off won by the Warpigs, trying to put it in front. Great opportunity. Shot from the point. Defenseman getting in the way of that as Niagara just wanting to keep that ball down low in the Toronto zone. The Leafs regroup. Here's Azevedo moving it forward. Leafs carrying it into the attacking zone. They're going to pull the goaltender, so it's going to be 5-on-5. It's a tough situation right now for the Leafs. And the Warpigs just putting that down the length of the court. It's bouncing. That'll bounce wide. No icing call. So Toronto carrying it up. And a bad turnover, and that will do it. As the Niagara Warpigs are now up 4-1. Graham Campbell with the empty netter. So you had to pull the goaltender to try and get back into this game despite being shorthanded. And that risky situation proves to be costly.
Yeah, and you got to feel for this team. They showed all kinds of talent, but just could not put together any sustained pressure. And then there, just a mental mistake, coughing that ball up, and it's buried in the empty net.
So 1:19 left to go in the third period. The Warpigs up 4-1. Azevedo, he'll just take that shot. That's deflected into the stands. So right now it's going to be a frustrating final minute 13 of this period as the Toronto Leafs won't be repeating as champions at this point, but they're going to try pulling the goaltender once again. So you have to do it. You want to try and get on the board, and Toronto trying to take that risk once again. Warpigs dumping it in. Toronto trying to regroup. Everyone's in the Niagara zone. There's a hook, so it's going to be a penalty. Delayed call against the Warpigs. There's a shot from the point, bouncing. Leggett making a huge stop. And we're going to get the penalty called against Niagara's Leggett having to make a huge pad save there.
Yeah, these Leafs are not going to go out without a fight. They have a lot of pride on the line. They obviously were looking for that three-peat to become the first ever six-time champions. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen, but they're not going to let the Warpigs walk over them in this dying seconds.
And it's Marshall Boys in the penalty box for Niagara. And right now they've got the goaltender pulled, so it's going to be a 6-on-4 situation for Toronto. See what they can do here. We're in the final minute of play in the third. Niagara used a timeout earlier, so let's see what they can do as they try and hold on. They've got a 3-goal lead, so it's a safe cushion, but this Toronto team, you've mentioned it, they have experience. See what they can do here in this final moment. And they'll do this face-off once again as the Toronto player wasn't ready.
Not sure why the official dropped the ball there. The Toronto player clearly wasn't ready.
Ball comes to the point. There's a shot that's high and wide. The Leafs trying to put a couple players in front of the net.
Nice block.
And bouncing puck. And I think we saw the ball hit iron. Toronto coming close. Still putting on pressure. It's a 6-on-4 situation right now. Ball sent in front, crossover, bouncing in front. And it looks like it's in. We've got a goal, so it's now 4-2 in favor of Niagara.
Yeah, and that's the key. They got Leggett moving. He had to make a couple of initial saves, jumping all around that crease, and he just couldn't get up for the third one.
And we'll see the replay here. As you mentioned, Leggett moving quite a bit. This is something that Toronto desperately needed to get. As the ball ended up behind him, and just an easy tap in to make it 4-2. Toronto still down by 2.
Oh.
That shot stopped by Leggett. So some good energy late in the game for Toronto. The goaltender's still pulled, so it's a 6-on-5 situation. Toronto keeping it down low. We're in the dying seconds of this game. Deflected. Leggett with the final save. And the War Pigs are celebrating as they have defeated the Toronto Leafs for the championship.
Mike, what a changing of the guard we've witnessed here. I don't think the War Pigs wanted to win it any other way. They wanted to beat the best. The Leafs have set the standard for years here, 5 championships in the last 8 years, including the last 2. So for the War Pigs to come and not just beat them, but dominate them, absolutely dominate them throughout this game, what a way to win your first Men's A World Championship.
And it was all defense there in the second period as we saw the War Pigs just shutting down Toronto. And it all started with Leggett making that toe save late in the first period. And Niagara just rallied around their goaltender, and they had some great movement. The defense really standing up offensively and led to this victory as the Niagara War Pigs came into this one as the underdogs, and they are now at the top of the totem pole in the league.
This reminds me back of 1984 when the Edmonton Oilers finally knocked off the New York Islanders and then established a dynasty. This War Pigs team is young. They enjoy playing together, and I think we could see the start of our next great dominant team here at the Worlds. So I'm Jim Lowe. You've been watching the Men's A Division World Championships, brought to you by Bauer. On behalf of my broadcast colleague Mike Poirier, thank you very much. Stay tuned. We've got the Men's B Gold Medal game coming up.